So I just bought a USA-made Gerber knife that I am not going to be keeping in the collection, and you might be surprised by the model and why. Well, hey GT family, it's a little cold today. Pretty chilly. It was in the teens this morning. It's in the mid-20s now, and cranking out some videos. I wanted to share my thoughts with you on the Gerber Gator series. Now, we recently just reviewed a bunch of the Gerber Gators. The fixed blade in 420 high carbon made in the USA, and then the 420 folder, and then the 154 cm folder. Really enjoyed all of those, see a lot of performance. And so I really enjoyed so much of them, and many of you were saying, hey dude, like I have the Gerber Gator Mate. That was the smaller design. I can't remember if that one was the very first model or if it was this one. I'm not quite sure. Maybe you guys could tell me. But many of you were like, yeah, I've been rocking the Gator Mate for a long time. It's the more compact version. You should totally pick one up. So I said to myself, okay, you know what? I love the full size. I love the full flat grind with the 154 cm. Why wouldn't I like the more compact version? Well, that's exactly what I did. I went out, picked up the Gator Mate, picked up another quick thumb stud, threw it on there, and got ready to EDC the knife. But I got to tell you, there's one thing that makes me not want to keep it in the collection. It honestly comes down to ergonomics. Now, what makes the original Gerber Gator up here that we've already reviewed so epic is this ginormous handle and how big it is, how full it is. I mean, it feels like you're holding on to a full-size fixed blade, which is a massive benefit for a folding knife. So the ergonomics are very good. The contouring, the drop on the back end here is very well done and just feels great, and you can hold this knife all day. What is odd to me is that I was expecting that same thing in this Gator Mate, just on a smaller level. So maybe, you know, it'd be better for a more compact EDC use around town, maybe to eventually have my son use, you know, as he's starting to get a little bit older and start to use knives and get into knives more. But what I found is that this contour drop back here, it just feels weird. Now, it still has a very full handle compared to its siblings here from Buck, in that same kind of vein. It's about as thick as the original 112, and then it's definitely thicker than the Slim with the pocket clip and thumb studs and all that stuff. And you're getting all that nice grippiness and round contouring that you get from all the Gators, which is great. But what we see here when I put it on top of the 112 from Buck, what you see is slightly less of a guard up here where we get this massive guard on the full size. So you're not getting as much of an actual stop, I guess. Now, it's not bad, it's just something that I kind of noticed. I was like, huh, okay. And then what happens is it has this massive cut in that goes up real high, and then this a very aggressive drop down. And so for me, just the way my hand is, and I have a large size hand, wear large size gloves, you guys know this, it causes your hand to have this, just this weird feel that it just was not something that felt very natural to me with my hands. Now, maybe if you had shorter, smaller hands, you know, and you felt it like fit more like this, maybe a smaller, medium-sized hand, no problem. It probably would feel pretty natural and pretty good. But for me, the way my hand is designed and created and put together here, it just, my pinky to wrist to thumb, I don't know, it just has this weird, odd angle that I just can't get my head around. And I tried. I carried it for a whole week and just couldn't get my head around the ergonomics, versus just a more natural sweep with less of a drop on the 112 just feels more natural, even though it's about the same length, and the same with the Slim. It just feels like a more natural, less aggressive. And I think it's because it just goes very high on the Gator Mate and then drops down very low, and it gives it this weird thing that just doesn't feel natural to me. So I'm just not gonna carry it. It's not a functionality thing in the sense of quality and durability and all that stuff. We get the same that we would see out of the full size, but the full size is so much bigger, so much fuller, and just takes up the hand a lot better, whereas the Gator Mate just has this kind of odd feel that I would way rather carry my Buck 112 full regular or the Slim any day over this Gator Mate. So again, there she blows. Just want to give you a kind of size perspective there. Again, it's just a very minute angle basically with this handle, but I just can't. I want to. Every time I'm like, come on, why won't this work? Why do I not like it? And it's just the contouring on my pinky and how it just pushes it into my hand there, and the 112 just doesn't do that, and the full-size Gator just doesn't do that. So I'm just not going to use it. It's just not something that's going to make a lot of sense to me in the collection. I'm going to stick with the full-size Gerber Gator. There's nothing else wrong. The clip is really cool. The blade shape, the length, all of that. The deployment is a lot clunkier than on the full-size. I really got to whip it. I basically have to manually push it in. It doesn't like clack into place. Here's the full-size, and I've had a couple of these at this point. It really drops nicely and then flops back into place. This guy, I really got to give a really hard wrist flick and then really kick it down, and then it doesn't want to go, and then I got to overcome and see how I just got to like tap that in. And I played a little bit with the pivot, but it didn't really seem to help too much with that. So again, it's just a lot smoother with that full size. Maybe it's just the weight of the blade. So that's why, for me, I won't be keeping it in the collection. But if you want to see more details and you missed the recent video that we did on the full-size versions, go check that out. I'll have that link in the description box below. You can check out the other video popping up. Subscribe if you're not a current subscriber. We're throwing up content like this all the time, and I want to hear from you guys. Maybe you love the Gerber Gator Mate and I'm missing it, and throw down that comment below. Or maybe you're right on track with me. You're like, yeah, I tried to fall in love with it too, couldn't like the full-size better. So I look forward to hearing all of that discussion in the comments below. And guys, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. Till next time, see you out there.